Hi, this is Jason, and today I'm going to do a live coding demo showing you how to do balanced randomization in volunteer science using our consumable system. Balanced randomization is our attempt to try and get the same number of people in each experimental condition as possible. The problem that you face as an experimentalist is you assign people to, say, condition A or B, and sometimes if you flip a coin, you have a 50-50 chance of getting A or B, but over time, randomly, a coin will sometimes give you more A's than B's. And sometimes it can give you a lot more A's than B's. And this gets more complicated as you have more experimental conditions. So you may have many more A's than B, C's, or D's. Or maybe you have a lot of A, B, and C, but not a lot of D. So what this consumable system can be used for is trying to balance it out so you have about the same amount as A, B, C, and D. The other problem that this doesn't solve, it can be solved, is attrition. So you can randomly allocate people to a balanced set of conditions, but some people won't finish. And so perhaps many people leave condition A because condition A is just not that fun, or not that engaging, or is buggy. And so you end up with relatively few people in condition A. This can't be helped. This is post-randomization attrition. There's no real fix for it. What we do with the consumable system is we will actually allocate people randomly using sort of the coin flip method um, across the conditions. And then what's going to happen is every 30 minutes, the consumable system will look at who's gotten in what buckets and will readjust the randomization weights so that if there is a bucket where you haven't gotten that many people, it'll start weighting the randomization or weighting the dice basically to make that uh, more likely. So let me show you how to do that. First, again, this is going to be a live coding demo, so I'm just going to walk through. I'm going to create a very basic experiment here and create some consumables for it and make this work. So be patient, bear with me. I'm going to call this balanced randomization demo. I'm going to use a blank template. I'm going to be very basic here. All I'm going to do is create an experiment where there's a statement that says this is condition A, B, C, D, what have you, and a little JavaScript that pulls the consumable in A, B, C, or D, and then it shows up in the screen. So let me go ahead and add a new file, call it main.html. This will be our sentence. Right. So this is condition, and we'll use span. ID, call it condition. Now span is something that you can work with using JavaScript to replace the text in it. You can do that too with any divs, but spans are useful for replacing things sort of within strings. So I'm going to say span condition, this is going to be empty. And so that I know that it's failed, we'll say, if it happens to fail, we'll say, put a nice default text in there. Save that. That'll be my experiment. Oh, I do need to put in a submit button so that people can click that they're done. So let me go ahead and add a JavaScript file to do the consumable stuff. I'll call it main.js. Great. So I'll use the function initialize here, and then function get consumable, and then we'll define a function called end study. I was going to say end round. Doesn't make sense. So when we initialize, all we want to do is call get consumable. If you're doing another study, because initialize will do many more things than this. This is a very simple study. So when the study launches, it's just going to call get consumable. And get consumable is going to call in that randomization. The randomized consumable. Now, I've forgotten off the top of my head how you use consumables. So let's look at the API here. volunteerscience.com/doc/API. Get consumables. I'm just going to copy that. Now I need to know the class. I haven't created the consumables yet, so I'm just going to give it a name that I think I'll use in a minute. Let's call it balanced demo. Our consumable system doesn't let you put spaces, so in the name of the class. So balanced demo, and I'll call this set1. And then we'll only want one of them. If we wanted 10 ones, we could. We don't need it. And then for this function, what we'll do is say function. Let's see. For those of you who believe I have just made a mistake, I probably did. I can never remember the proper way of doing callbacks in JavaScript, so we'll see how poorly this does. I may have to, I'm going to switch over to a different tab where I know I have this. And I will just copy it in. I'm totally going to cheat. I'm sorry. I'm totally going to cheat. The best way to code is to steal your own code. So let me go ahead and steal my own code here. And then at the end, you'll have the code, and then you can steal from me, and that's totally fine. So one of the nice things about JavaScript callbacks is that it just controls the data flow. So one of the things with these the consumable system is that it's asynchronous. We call to our consumable system, and JavaScript is going to keep going before this data comes back. So you use the I almost got it right. So you use the callback to make sure that the functions that run after the consumables actually run when the consumables finishes. So, so what I need to do is just replace this. So what I missed was I needed to call data in the error. But otherwise I was right. It's actually not that bad. Okay, so I pasted a bunch of stuff here. So what we want to do is, I'm missing a bracket somewhere. Probably this one. Nope. We'll figure out where that is in a second. Looks like it should be there. There we go. Sorry, I was looking up here on line 7 and noticed that there was the bracket there. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so the get consumable, same thing, balance demo, set1. This is the callback function. So when I get a consumable back from this get consumables function, which is a volunteer science function, it's going to give me back data is the thing that will come back. I don't need to split it. There's no cleaning involved here. It'll come back as a list. So if I do 10, it'll come back as a list of 10. Right now it's just a list of 1 because I asked for 1. So I'm going to get the first item, which is the 0th item in JavaScript. JavaScript starts its counting at 0. If for whatever reason comes back empty, there is no consumed, and I'll say alert. Fatal error. Don't need to call pay AMT. This is not a Turk hit. Oh yeah, we'll call this. Sort of up to you how you want to handle your variables. In this case, I'll keep consumed as the name of the variable. So I do need to. Oh, come on. Don't want to log it. Var consumed. Now I'm putting it outside these functions so that consumed becomes a global variable, so I have it inside any function I want. That's one of the differences between JavaScript and something like Python. There are these global variables that you can just define and then become accessible in all functions. Okay, so grab the consumed out of the data. If it comes back, if it's null, throw an alert. Just toggle, which it won't be. So what's going to happen is I'm going to just call in the experiment condition name. So I'm going to call it, this is condition A, condition B, condition C, and then, so this is just going to say, consumed is all, it's just going to say condition A, condition B, condition C. And so what I'll do now is I'll just put it into that span item that I did. Condition dot, I think it's HTML. Live coding, here we go. Consumed, and maybe dot text, we'll see. And then end study set consumed. So what we want to do here with set consumed is tell volunteer science that the thing has been consumed, that somebody actually finished the study in this case. And so this way we know to officially count it. So we say set consumed, and I think let's go back to the documentation. Set consumed, okay, set consumed, yep, same thing, class, set, and then the condition. So condition is just the thing that was consumed. So we'll call this, oh yeah, consumed. Yeah, boop. Da, da, da. It's just reminding me of the fact that I did this wrong in another study, so I need to go fix it. Okay, so set consumed. Let's tell volunteer science that this condition has actually been used, or they finished it. And then we're going to call experiment complete. Great. Now the study's over. End study is not being called anywhere. I mean to call it for this on this button here. So, so here's the span ID condition. This is where we're going to replace the HTML with the condition name. Button on click equals end study. All in parentheses. Submit. Save. All right, let's just call it end study. All right, very simple, low-tech experiment. There are no consumables. It's going to throw an error if I demo it, but this will at least get you to see the. Here we go. This condition is empty, so there's no consumable. I think this is going to throw an error. Probably not. Oh, there was no consumable, so it didn't throw an error. Okay. Great. So now let's create the consumables. I'm going to open up another tab because I'll need to make sure that I have the right name for my class and set. If I have a typo in there, it's not going to pull the right one. So let me call this, what do we call it in the code? Balanced demo. So let me create this new class. All right, I'm going to call it, or the data is going to be condition A, condition B, condition C. Save. So this is creating all of the conditions, and then what I'm going to do is, for this particular experiment, I'm going to create a set that is all three of these conditions. Set one, literally it's just these strings, condition A, condition B, condition C. All right, so now set one, nobody's done A, B, or C. So now this should work. All right, here's the thrill of live coding. All right, so it didn't call. Oh, consumed. Get consumed. All right, so something's going on with this. Balanced one. It was still on the thing. One. Function data error print console.log. This is not Python. Console log. Oops. Data. All right, so what's going on here? Oops, forgot the. Oh, here we go. Okay, so it's not finding the consumable. Balance, demo, and set. Should be right. Balance, demo. Set one. I didn't capitalize it, did I? Nope. Now that's odd. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause it to save you some time. I'll come back in a second. Okay, I've solved the problem. There were two issues. One just with the consumables themselves, and a separate one that I found while looking this up. So the basic issue is that these consumables can't have spaces. If they have spaces, then they won't come back properly. So you have to, in this case, I used a hyphen. So dash, condition dash A, condition dash B, condition dash C. And I created a second set that's just these three. So that was the problem. There wasn't any error associated with it, so it was hard to see that's what's going on. So I fixed it here, and so now it's set to. I also need to change here this in study to set 2. The other thing I saw is set consumable was incorrectly specified. It's set consumables. So I changed that as well. So those are the two changes that happened while I was away, or while you were away. I don't know. One of us was away. Okay, so let me go ahead and demo. Condition's empty. Condition B. So you see there's a slight delay. So what you would want to do is pull in your condition and then show the text. You would want to hide it and then show the whole thing all at once. Actually, I could show you how to do that in just a quick second. But that's it. Click End Study. It's over. So that was condition B. Let me go back to the consumables, which I think are here. Refresh this page. Yeah, bam. I got one condition B has been consumed. And so the next person is going to get A, B, or C. It'll still be random coin flipping. But after 30 minutes, the system's going to look and see, okay, what's the how many A's, how many B's, how many C's do I have, and then readjust the weights so that A, B, or C gets weighted more or less depending on how many people have actually finished it. As I said, I wanted to give you show an example here of waiting for the whole thing to finish loading first. So we're going to hide this one. Div here, div, and then style. Let's call it ID main. And then style equals display none. Okay, so that hides it. Actually, we're going to hide the whole thing. Okay. There it is. So save that, and then we're going to show this main dot show. So when the consumable loads, it'll show the whole thing. All right, that's it. Thank you. If you have any questions, please send us an email at support@volunteerscience.com. Thank you.